Channel 2, KPRC-TV, Houston. The news starts now. Live from Houston, this is Channel 2 News with Ron Stone, Jan Carson, Doug Johnson, Ron Franklin, and the Channel 2 News team.
Harris County Sheriff's divers are still searching the San Jacinto River tonight for the body of a 14-year-old Houston boy.
17-year-old friend nearly drowned when he jumped into the river to try to save the boy. Channel 2's Joe COLLUM watched tonight as the divers searched.
It was supposed to have been a day of fresh air and sunshine for a group of troubled kids. But it became a day of tragedy when the muddy brown waters of the San Jacinto River claimed the life of a 14-year-old boy. He'd come here to fish, but for some reason decided to try to swim across the river.
He got out there and got in trouble, started hollering for help, and another 17-year-old went out after him.
You actually had your hands on him?
Yeah, I had my hands on him like that. You know, I was pulling him back. You know, I was praying my hand, then he started choking me, you know. He started coughing and stuff, and then he started choking me, you know. He went on the water, and then I didn't see him no more, and then he started floating away like that. I said, damn.
Friends say they saw the 8th grader go under at midstream. Nobody saw him come up again. At 3 o'clock, the search began. Sky 2 was enlisted by paramedics to scour the river from the air. Meanwhile, divers searched the river bottom. The victim lived at a North Houston home for troubled teenagers. That's why he and his roommates were here today. The state-run program is trying to save kids who've never had much by emphasizing wholesome outdoor activity.
A little bit towards this side.
Tonight, the search continues for the body of one boy the program couldn't save. Joe COLLUM, Channel 2 News.
Students had the day off because their teachers were taking the state-mandated teacher competency test.
Some teachers are still taking the TCAT test tonight, but there have been some problems, and Channel 2's Jerry D'Amico is live now with the latest. Jerry?
You betcha, and the 100 or so teachers who showed up to take the test at this session, most of them are still inside now. Only a few of them have left. When they showed up a little earlier this evening, they found they had a little more to worry about than just passing the test. They found that the test process was about 2 hours behind schedule. There were 3 test sessions here today, the last scheduled to start at 4:30. But it was 6:30 by the time these teachers got inside and got started.
And to come this late in the afternoon to take the test and then be told that they would have to wait at least an hour to an hour and a half before they were ready to take the test seems to have raised the anxiety level even more to hear them say so.
And Price said the proctors who are administering the test wouldn't tell her why they were so far behind schedule. She also claims a lot of test sessions across the state were behind schedule today. Just caught this gentleman coming out of the test. He finished just a short time ago. He's Johnny Carter. He's a basketball coach at Forest Brook High School. Johnny, how'd you make out on the test?
I think I did pretty well on the test. I wasn't overly concerned about it because I do teach English also. So the test was basically on basic skills in English, usage, grammar, and things like that. And a short essay you had to write on 150 words. I don't think I had any problem with it.
Okay, good. Coach, thanks very much. Appreciate you talking with us. That's the situation, Ron and Jan. We are told, though, that state education officials figure that perhaps some 10,000 teachers across the state will not be able to pass this test and could be in trouble.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerry. Some Houston area teachers found themselves with another problem tonight, having to defend their Missouri City school where violence has been reported. Channel 2's Larry Otis says some parents want the school principal removed and added security officers hired.
A standing room only crowd packs out tonight's meeting. Parents and teachers telling 2 different stories about reported violence at Missouri City Junior High School. Teachers speak first, saying TV and newspapers have sensationalized the story.
I have yet to see a victim, a weapon, to have factual information, to have any substantial, concrete evidence to say there is any justifiable reason for fear of bodily harm at Missouri City.
The exaggerations have interrupted the educational process at our school.
Parents counter with research of their own.
We have 7 confirmed cases and under investigation by the Missouri City Police Department. You want facts? They've got the facts.
Carlos Gutierrez calls on 2 parents who say their children are victims.
With a knife in his arm, by going to the little boy's room. Now he is scared to even go over there.
The final word comes from the school board, which says none of the reports of violence have checked out.
And I am personally very upset that members of the community believe that they have to go to the press in order to get some attention, especially since you didn't call me.
School board president Frank Gruen describes the whole affair as a communications problem, which he will deal with. But again, parents say it's more serious than that, and security is a must. Larry Otis, Channel 2 News.
We'll learn on Friday when County Commissioner Bob Eccles will go on trial to answer questions concerning misconduct and theft of services. But in the meantime, he will remain in office. Eccles' troubles stem from an alleged theft of bridge timbers from the county that turned up at the commissioner's Austin County ranch and a paved road that a contractor friend gave him. DA Johnny Holmes wanted the commissioner put out of office. Court today said no to that.
It's nothing but a political witch hunt, and it's going to come back and bite the people that are hunting.
I have simply asked that people reserve their judgment on that until such time as they have an opportunity to hear the facts.
Facts should come out at the trial sometime this summer. In the meantime, the feud between the DA and the commissioner no doubt will intensify.
Well, the rough weather that delayed today's efforts to recover the Challenger crew cabin may postpone recovery attempts for another day or so. NASA is refusing to provide any details until recovery is completed. Astronaut remains that were brought ashore on Saturday are being analyzed by pathologists at Patrick Air Force Base, and the families who have been grieving for the past 6 weeks have new pain to deal with.
I was a little surprised because I had been at the launch and I didn't see any debris come down.
I'm going to have to go through pretty much the same thing that we went through more than a month ago. And at that time, it was very sad.
The crew members were seated on 2 levels in the cabin. A set of recorders was located in the compartment to record launch data and conversations of the crew. And a special team has been mobilized at Johnson Space Center to analyze those tapes if they are recovered. Still ahead, a Houston restaurant chain looks for financial protection. A radio station changes its tune.
And in a special cover story report tonight, balancing careers and motherhood. We'll be right back.
18 years before the first Toyota, 48 years before the first Honda, Isuzu built the first car in Japan. Today, the Turbo Impulse is one of the fastest GT cars in the world. And as for creature comforts, it will outperform the competition standing still. Isuzu, the first car builders of Japan.
Next time, get a Hayworth Furniture System. They're built.
Think you have weight problems? That's still ahead on Channel 2 News at 10.
Change. It's part of doing business. Now there's a Watts line that keeps up with change. It automatically adjusts to give you our maximum savings on every call. And that's guaranteed. Just like change. Advanced Watts from GTE Sprint. When you've got Sprint, you've got the future on the line.
Why risk everything to earn high returns on your IRA? Bank pays 10% guaranteed for 3 years, fully insured.
An all-line Houston restaurant chain has filed for Chapter 11. The Monterey House Company will try to keep its 65 restaurants open. The company says one of the Monterey House 4 divisions ran into problems because of energy and commercial real estate developments that didn't pan out. The company employs about 1,350 workers, and they hope most jobs can be saved. Some changes at another Houston institution. KLEF, Houston's only pure classical music station, is abandoning its format and will go the way of many other stations and play soft rock of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The staff got the surprise word this morning. Management says it's a business decision, pure and simple. KLEF's audience is admittedly small, but very loyal, and now they have no place to go.
There are efforts underway tonight to guarantee that working parents can take up to 4.5 months off work without pay to care for their newborn children. Congress is considering such a bill right now that would provide that kind of parental leave with job security. And as Channel 2's Phil Archer reports tonight in Cover Story, that's a big issue for the country's 20 million working mothers.
In the last decade, America has seen a new baby boom. Yet, while nearly half of all mothers with small children are in the workforce, only about 40% of them are covered by some type of maternal leave.
So go ahead and redispatch it for tomorrow.
Cheryl Warner is one of the lucky ones. She works for a large corporation that provides paid medical leave and guarantees her job will remain open. But pregnancy is treated as an illness. There is no specific policy for expectant mothers.
No, I would think that you'd want to be covered. I don't think that, I think maternity is something important that the company should recognize.
Bill Morris is a small businessman who's built a successful pharmacy. He holds jobs open for women employees who become pregnant, but it's not easy.
And somebody else has to come in and do that job. And in our particular case, it has to be me or my wife, because I cannot go out and hire somebody who's extremely competent and get them to come in and work for, say, 3 months or something like that, and then tell them, you know, I don't need you any longer, and I can't hire an extra pharmacist just in case somebody becomes pregnant.
Even so, proponents argue parental leave should be guaranteed to keep up with the nation's rapidly changing workforce. Phil Archer, Channel 2 News.
Well, the Celtics are warming up tonight in Dallas.
Tomorrow they'll be here to take on the Rockets, and Ron Franklin has a preview of that and the rest of the sports news in a moment. Stay with us, please.
We all need credit from time to time. For nearly 60 years, Fingers has had payment plans to fit your budget and your time frame on purchases of home electronics and appliances. And remember, Fingers has what no other store has, the Finger family. We care. I'm Alan Finger.
Use Fingers credit on this Fisher stereo system with amp, dual cassette, turntable, CD player, speakers, tuner, and rack. Just $799 at Fingers.
If you had your choice, you'd live in a community that grows on you and with you, giving you a selection of neighborhoods and home styles, parks and playgrounds, community sports, local schools, churches and stores, all the elements of a traditional community. Fortunately, you do have that choice. Copperfield,